Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner from Monday, December 30th, 2024. We're going into 2025. My next show will be in 2025, so Happy New Year, everybody. Anyway, we have quite a few things to talk about, so let's get started. Drones and Bigfoot sightings. Join the Super Chat Challenge on Squash DTV podcast. The Bigfoot mystery, Squatch DTV, has recently released a thought-provoking video discussing the possibility of drones being used in the world of Bigfoot research. The video, titled Bigfoot, Drones, and PSYOPs, explores the idea that drones may be used for surveillance and data collection in the search for Bigfoot. The host, Steve... Now, she still misspells Steve Culls' last name. It's Kulls. Not Coles like the store. And Chris Bennett expressed their views on the matter in a non-political sense and consider the possibility that this could all just be a SC up. They also mentioned the recent sightings of Bigfoot in New York State and wished a happy birthday to Big G. Steve and Chris also announced a challenge for their Wednesday night show where they will stay on an extra hour if they receive a certain number of super chats. They encourage their viewers to participate and make a pot of coffee. Now, we may remember the rather ill-fated effort, I guess. Wasn't really an effort, it was more of a scam, which Dr. Meldrum was involved in. That was the Falcon Project, which was supposedly going to send a balloon, an air balloon, up into the air and do surveillance and possibly look for Sasquatch. But that turned out to be a scam, a big scam, unfortunately. So nothing ever came of that. A lot of people were scammed out of that, including, unfortunately, Dr. Meldrum. I contributed a little bit to Dr. Meldrum's Falcon Project. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? His Falcon Project drive, I suppose. He thought it was obviously legitimate as well, but it turned out to be a scam. So, let's see if somebody can get a drone up in the air and actually get some footage of a Sasquatch. It would be interesting if it happened. And no, I don't count the alleged drone video from a few years ago, which turned out to be a hoax, which Kelly Shaw of Rocky Mountain Sasquatch swore was real. And he swore he went to the location and supposedly found Bigfoot evidence there. Supposedly. Of course, I don't think he did. I think it's BS. I think he's a lying troll hoaxer, to be quite honest. But anyhow, it looks like it should be an interesting discussion with Steve and Chris. So check it out. Bigfoot Heights, statistical analysis of Western versus Southern reports. A new video from the Sasquatch Data Project on YouTube has caught the attention of Bigfoot enthusiasts. In the video, the channel's creator, Terrestrial, puts one of the most circulated ideas about Bigfoot to the test through statistical significance testing. The idea being tested is whether the reported heights of Sasquatch in the western United States are actually larger than those reported in the South. Terrestrial explains that she has personally never seen data that confirms or denies this idea, and she is here to challenge this notion to see if it holds true when looking at the data and running statistical significance testing on it. Using data from BFRO reports, Terrestrial has parsed 1,334 reports from 25 different states, including Alabama, Arkansas, and Delaware in the southern region, and Alaska, Colorado, and Utah in the western region. She is only looking at Class A sightings, which means the witness saw an ape of unclassified species in North America without a doubt. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Statistics may seem boring to some, but they are highly valuable to researchers. And I think that we should support the idea of having statistics and having even the boring stuff occur in the Bigfoot field. So it sounds fascinating, and I think we should at least give it a shot, give it a chance, see what kind of data this person comes up with. You never know. This kind of data could lead to an actual discovery. Perhaps. Maybe. Let's just see if it does. Now here's something interesting. Ex-CIA and FBI agent admits U.S. government tested Bigfoot fur and reveals surprising result. A former U.S. military official has dropped a bombshell regarding the enigmatic creature known as Bigfoot, causing a stir online. Tracy Chandler Walder, 45, who previously held positions at both the FBI in Los Angeles and at the CIA's Counterterrorism Center, now engages with her followers online as the unexpected spy. Walder discusses a variety of topics from U.S. defense matters to Elon Musk and even mythical creatures. In her latest social media spiel, she tackled the subject of Bigfoot in a video titled Bigfoot Investigated by the FBI, where she expressed her views on cryptids. In my opinion, with cryptids, I think they are probably real species of animal that people have mistaken for something else or have actually never seen before, she explained. It's kind of insular for us to think we've discovered every single species out there in the world. I don't think that we have, she added. She pointed out an intriguing past incident involving the FBI where they analyzed what was purported to be Bigfoot's fur, but turned out to be deer hair, reports the Daily Star. Now, that was the fur sample or hair sample that was sent to the FBI by the late Peter Byrne. And it turned out to be deer hair, as we all know, or deer hair. Nevertheless, she remarked the government's willingness to conduct the test was quite telling. I want to talk about the FBI and their involvement in this, she explained. I think people may not know that back in the 70s, the FBI actually tested fur that a hunter provided, she added. That was actually Peter Byrne who provided that to the FBI. I've already talked about that on this show before, by the way, a few years ago. Now, my question is, would the FBI be willing to look at what is purported to be a Sasquatch hair again? They probably would. You never know. I would imagine if someone had a supposed Sasquatch hair, they could send it to the FBI. But usually these days they send it to Todd Disotell or Darby Orcutt. And of course we know that it has not always come up as actual Sasquatch hair or anything like that. But still, it's quite fascinating. I think the FBI would test a supposed Sasquatch hair if you sent them hair. If you knew how to send them hair. In other words, an address to send it to. But obviously, Distel and Orkut would be the closest. Distel will tell you straight up whether it's real or it's not real hair of a Sasquatch. He's not going to steer us wrong, I don't think. Now, I've made some comments about Distel in the past, saying he was a bit of a dick. Well, no, I don't think he is. He may be, I don't know. I never met the gentleman. But I don't have an issue with him. And I think that he is a good source to send supposed DNA to. If someone has alleged DNA from Sasquatch or any other cryptid. Of course, Darby Orkut is also a good source. So either way, you can't go wrong. Speaking of Bigfoot and drones, Bigfoot dragged into U.S. drone mystery as conspiracy theories spiral out of control. U.S. legislators have brought the legendary Bigfoot into the mix amidst escalating conspiracy theories surrounding the New Jersey drone conundrum. The Federal Aviation Association, FAA, is considering a ban on drones as they strive to solve the enigma of these unmanned aerial vehicles which have been spotted crisscrossing the nation. Since mid-November, over 1,000 drone sightings have been reported at some near sensitive sites like military bases and presidential retreats. Republican Senator John Bramnick from New Jersey has made an impassioned plea to the Department of Defense, insisting that the drone issue be taken seriously. He criticized the federal government's lack of support after viewing footage of large drone sightings captured by civilians. The White House is saying we are not seeing what we are seeing, he declared. Let's be clear, this is not similar to Bigfoot sightings. These are clear images. We need the Defense Department to investigate. So basically, he's saying that Sasquatch is still mythical, whereas these drones are not. And we have to admit that no, Bigfoot is not proven to exist in the real world. I realize there are those of us who are witnesses who have actually seen one at least once. But to the rest of the world, Sasquatch do not exist. So that's what we need to keep in mind and not get so upset when somebody says that Bigfoot is mythical or Bigfoot is not real. We may know in our hearts, those of us who have seen one, that they're real. But there is the possibility we may have been seeing things as well. There is always that possibility. People see things all the time. Their minds can play tricks on them. So, especially those of us who are not trained in the forests, in the forest ways. So, I'm just throwing that out as a possibility. Not calling people liars. I would certainly not call myself a liar. I think that Sasquatch do exist, though. Maybe one day we will actually find out for sure. Coast to Coast AM has put up their best Bigfoot stories of 2024. 2024 was another banner year for Bigfoot, with the legendary cryptid leaving a fittingly oversized imprint on the world of weird news. Along with the usual sightings and possible photos or videos of the elusive creature, Sasquatch continued to serve as something of a pop culture icon, enlisted for all manner of roles, from school mascot to spokes cryptid for waste management. As so often happens each year, Bigfoot was also at the center of more than a few bizarre moments, including a murder trial that bordered on the unfathomable. Alas, the best Bigfoot video of 2024 ultimately turned out to be one that wasn't. A fantastic piece of footage that seemingly provided a close-up look at the creature resting against a tree. After going viral and spawning worldwide headlines, the footage was revealed to have been a clever marketing stunt by an Oklahoma smoke shop. Less dispiriting documentation this past year came in the form of photographs possibly showing the famed cryptid. Specifically, there were trail cam images from North Carolina, Indiana, and New Mexico, as well as cell phone pictures from two separate witnesses on Navajo Nation. Well, those are from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, so I have to press exit out on those, to be quite honest. And I have, of course, talked about all this stuff from Coast to Coast AM all year long. Of course, I try not to give Rocky Mountain Sasquatch any undue publicity. I guess I'm giving them that now, though, since I'm discussing them. Though lacking in evidence, some noteworthy eyewitness sightings from the past year included reports from a rental truck driver in Illinois and a South Carolina cop who stumbled upon the creature while hunting. That said, not all suspected Sasquatch encounters turned out to be on the level, as a series of incidents in Virginia wound up being a prankster in a suit, and a cross-country runner was mistaken for Bigfoot by bewildered witnesses in Washington state. Meanwhile, possible prints of the cryptid were found in New York and Britain. Now, I don't believe that there are any hairy hominoids in Britain, unless they're more supernatural than anything else. I just don't think there's enough room in England for any kind of hairy hominoid. As to the big cat sightings in England, well, I don't know about those. It's entirely possible that there are big cats in England. If there are big cats, maybe there are hairy hominoids. I really don't know. I don't live there. I mean, we've heard all these. The thing is, there was only one footprint found in England. Only one sinking footprint, not a trackway. If you have a trackway, then I can see it. But only one footprint? Give me a break. And, we had Bigfoot showing up on a scratch ticket in Oregon, celebrated with a massive statue in Ohio, and listed to help raise awareness about recycling in Georgia. A town in Pennsylvania embraced the cryptid in the hopes of improving tourism. An historical marker commemorating the creature's place in local lore was unveiled in upstate New York Village. As if that were not enough, public schools in Florida and Virginia adopted the creature as their mascot, as did a city in Wisconsin, and the new NHL team in Salt Lake City indicated that they may ultimately be called the Utah Yeti. Now, that's just some of the stuff that happened in 2024 regarding Bigfoot.
on coasttocoastam.com. You guys can read the rest of the article that I'll link down below. Finally, here's one I found interesting. The ancient roots of humor, how great apes reveal the origins of teasing. Picture this. A young orangutan offers a piece of bark to her mother only to pull it back at the last moment. Her mother, not to be outdone, picks up the bark and repeats the trick, flipping the game into a reciprocal exchange. This playful interaction might not seem groundbreaking, but it echoes behavior seen in human toddlers, and it raises profound questions about the evolutionary roots of humor and teasing. A recent study published in Proceedings, Biological Sciences, dives into the playful teasing behaviors observed in great apes. Researchers systematically analyzed social interactions among orangutans, chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas, uncovering intriguing parallels between their behaviors and human humor. Playful teasing provides a relatively low-risk environment to develop and refine social skills, says lead author Isabel Laumer of the University of California, San Diego. The findings suggest that teasing is not just a human trait, but a deeply ingrained behavior that could date back millions of years. Now, do Sasquatch also engage in this sort of behavior? Well, given that they are primates, I believe so. I think they do. I think the Sasquatch also engage in this sort of behavior of teasing. No one's ever actually observed it, but I think it does happen. If Sasquatch are primates, as we believe they are, so it's entirely possible that Sasquatch do the same thing. Much like orangutans, much like bonobos and gorillas and chimpanzees. It doesn't really surprise me, to be quite honest. Not really surprising at all. It's just something fascinating to think about. It's entirely possible. I don't rule it out. Maybe one day we will all be able to tell if they do this sort of thing. Maybe somebody will actually observe them doing this. It would be quite fascinating to see if that actually happens. And make sure that you document it if you do see it. Document it on video. I'm not so sure of how many people will actually believe you, but you could at least try. We can only hope that someone is able to do this one day, and that they're able to prove to us that known primates are not the only ones that do this sort of thing. It would be a red letter day, wouldn't it? And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it, and I will continue as long as you guys want me to. And again, we're going into our 10th year of doing this vodcast. A decade now. Of course, it started out as a podcast from 2008 to 2011. So, this is just a continuation. I waited 4 years to come back with the show on video. A video podcast. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back to our regular schedule of Wednesday starting next week on January 8th, 2025.
So until then, y'all be good or be good at this HBM's Crypto Corner.